Strong men are not the ones you have to worry about. It's weak men that you have to worry about. Weak people. No, I agree with that. You put authority and power in the hands of weak people, forget it. You got to run for cover. Because people that never had anything throughout their life, now they have power over you. And boy, do they abuse it oftentimes. Hey everyone, welcome to another Sit Down with Michael Franzese. Hope everybody is doing well. All is very good, very blessed on this end. Even more blessed after Easter weekend. We had a great time with family. And as always, I give God all the praise, honor, glory, and thanksgiving for that. Hope you all had a great Easter weekend. It's a blessing, people, and some of you may not realize it, but as far as us Christians, we believe and we know to be true that the Good Friday and Resurrection Sunday, Easter Sunday, greatest events in the history of mankind. And some of you may disagree, but I think in the end, we're all going to see that. But anyway, hello to everyone. Hope everybody's doing great. I have to say this. You see the title of today's video is Trump Tate, Prosecution or Persecution. Now, I don't want to jump on the bandwagon. Everybody and their brother and sister and everyone, every newscaster, everybody has been commenting on Trump for sure, and so many people on Tate. I didn't want to jump on that. You know, it's been going on now for a little bit of time. Fortunately, Tate got released. He's on home arrest, house arrest, but at least he's not being detained anymore without charges being filed. That's one positive thing, even though he spent, you know, I think a little over 3 months in there without any charges. And of course, Trump has just happened recently. We all know about the indictment in New York that was brought on by the district attorney there, Alvin Bragg. And everybody's talked about it. Everybody's commented about it. Everybody has an idea about it, a preconceived notion. Some people that hate Trump, you know, are so happy that it happened. Some people that like him or not only like him, but just disagree with the way the charges were filed and the substance of the indictment are sounding off on it. You can find news everywhere. It's in the papers every day. It's in the media every day. We get it. So I didn't want to be one of those that jumped on that immediately on both of these issues, Tate and Trump. But I think it's time and it's appropriate to say something now. You know, let me preface this all. You know, social media has been, for me, I can't really complain. It's been a blessing for me. You know, I have over a million subs thanks to all of you on YouTube, and it's really increase my platform worldwide. As a result of the exposure that I've gotten and my brand has gotten, I've gotten a lot of opportunities have come my way because more people know about me. I'm noticed more. It's helpful a lot, you know. We get a lot of great comments. We get some negative ones, of course, because of my past or whatever it is. If they have something to disagree with what I say, I get it. We understand that. Once you put yourself out there, you're kind of fair game and people talk, and that's great. But the comments mainly have been great. You know, I'm also on Instagram and Twitter and Facebooks, and it's worked pretty well for me. But I have to say, it's become as good a platform as all social media has become. It's also become that negative, that hateful, that harmful, preconceived notions. People hide behind, you know, a name that, and a face nobody knows, a name that nobody knows, and they just spout off. And some horrible things are said. And, you know, preconceived notions about people come out. And it's been horrible in that regard. I have to say that. And so with respect to that, I want to first deal with, you know, Andrew Tate and what happened with him. We all know the story. I'm not going to be redundant and go over it. And yes, I will tell you this, and I'll repeat it again. I'll repeat it forever. In my view, Andrew Tate's innocent. Until proven guilty, I don't care if you're in Romania, the United States, or someplace else in the universe. Until you're proven guilty, okay, you're innocent. That's just it. That's how I believe, and I think that's the right and fair way. People can accuse you of something, but unless they have evidence and truth to support it, you're innocent, and that's how it should be. And that's a principle that we have in America here, that God forbid it ever goes away. Because if that ever goes away, we're really in trouble. There's so many things going wrong in this country now. But if we lose that right, and in many ways, because of social media, a lot of people have. There was so many preconceived notions about Andrew Tate. He's a misogynist. He talked bad about women and this and that and that. That has nothing to do with any charges being filed against him. That has nothing to do with criminal activity. And until today, the charges have not been filed. I want you to understand that. No charges have been filed against Andrew Tate. He's got a lot of support online because a lot of people think that he did a lot of good for them. A lot of men are supporting him. And not because he's making men into, macho men. That's not true. He's saying what he believes to be true. Some people are offended by it. Some women are offended by it. Okay, maybe he says it in a way that's pretty abrasive at times. That's just his way. But he's done a lot of good for a lot of men. How do I know that? Because a lot of men have told me that. And I read and I see some of the comments. A lot of people are supporting him because there is a movement to downplay men, to feminize men. It's happening here in America. The Me Too movement, which had a good cause, I'm not saying that. Men should not be abusive to women, and women standing up to that type of abuse, I support it all the way. I have a wife, I have 5 daughters, I have grandchildren. If anybody abuses them, they should stand up. I wouldn't accept it, neither do they. So that was a good cause. I believe that, but Andrew was not trying to make men go after women in a bad way. Now, some people go, Michael, come on, you didn't read it. Listen, I don't go by everything I see on social media, okay? I happen to know, we've had conversation. I don't believe that Andrew had to do anything that he was alleged to do. Again, not charged with, but alleged to do. He didn't need to do any of those things, and I don't believe he did. That's my personal opinion. If I'm proven wrong, I'm proven wrong. But, social media, people come up and they talk and they talk and they talk. Is he being persecuted or is he being prosecuted? Well, he isn't being prosecuted yet. He was detained without charges being filed, so there's no prosecution as of yet, unless you look at social media, people prosecuting him there, but that doesn't count. But let me tell you this, Andrew's mistake, he got on the wrong side of powerful people. Maybe he made some comments about Romania and about why he's staying in Romania. Powerful people got upset with him. Powerful people do damage when they get upset, when they have authority. Somebody said something, and I concur with this. I forget who it was. I think it might have been Jordan Peterson. But you know what he said? He said, strong men are not the ones you have to worry about. It's weak men that you have to worry about. Weak people. I agree with that. You put authority and power in the hands of weak people, forget it. You got to run for cover. Because people that never had anything throughout their life, now they have power over you. And boy, do they abuse it oftentimes. I'll relate it to something that I learned in prison. Everybody in prison, respect is a big thing in prison. Respect, respect, respect. I've said this before. My father told me, you want to make your way in prison, you want to have any trouble, remember 3 words. Please, excuse me, and thank you. You bump into somebody, excuse me, didn't mean that. You ask somebody for something, can I please do that? Somebody gives you something, thank you. You're going to cut in on a line. Sir, do you mind if I jump in? This is my friend here. Respect. Do you know why? Because so many guys that never had respect on the street, they want it all in there so they can show off to other guys, that they're macho, they're people of respect. But they never had anything on the street. You can tell, if you can judge people and you can, kind of know your way around people, you could tell. So give them that respect. This way you have no problems in prison. But authority and power in the hands of weak people, the worst. Give me a strong guy anyway, anytime rather. So the problem that Andrew had, he got on the wrong side of the wrong people. And as a result, up till this point, I believe it's a persecution because there are no charges filed against him. He's being taken over the coals by many in the media. They're putting stuff out there, allegations that haven't been founded in any way at this point. So for me, that's a persecution. And until I see something of substance, that's the position that I'm taking. And this isn't a question, Andrew's my friend. Andrew and I, we don't go out to dinner. We've communicated back and forth, and I think I understand where he's coming from. And that's it. Let's get to Trump. Look, I spent over 20 years on the street. I had, at one point in time, a 14-agency task force. 14 agencies. FBI, IRS, Queen Detective, U.S. Postal Service, Nassau County prosecutors, you name it, 14 agencies has gotten together and formed a task force They used to meet in the courthouse in Uniondale, Long Island, and their sole purpose was to take me down and put me in prison. That was it. I had beat them a number of times. I went to trial 4 times. I beat them. And then I had the Giuliani case, the 5th time, big racketeering case. I beat that. But I understand government overreach. I understand law enforcement overreach. I understand prosecutors overreach. And here's the problem with the Trump situation for me now. Do me a favor. Forget that it's Donald Trump. Doesn't matter that it's Donald Trump or the man in the moon or anybody else. We all can agree on one thing about Donald Trump. Ever since 2016, has anybody been investigated more than him? I don't think so. 2 impeachments, Russia. He's got 3 investigations going on him now. He's had civil suits, you name it. This guy's been the most investigated guy in the world. Why? They hate him. They hate him. They absolutely hate him. Alvin Bragg, the prosecutor and the district attorney, ran on the fact that he was going to get Trump. That was his platform. I'm going to put Trump in prison. I'm going to get Trump. So what does he do? He comes into office and he finds charges to put against Trump. He campaigned on it. Let me tell you the problem I have with that. He's a Democrat. Trump is a Republican, okay? If you can't see that this is a political hit job, then there's something wrong. Whether he's guilty or not, you got to be able to see through it. It's very, very obvious what the Democrats are doing here. Okay? It's so obvious. I don't care if you like Trump, you hate Trump, whatever the situation is. You got to at least admit that. I don't know if he's innocent, guilty. Look, the charges are not a big deal no matter how you put it. Everybody has said that. Everybody knows that. Even Democrats in office have said that. But what do they want to do? They want to eliminate Trump. There's something out there that's saying that they don't think that Trump can beat Biden, so that they want Trump to be the nominee. Because even though he has his base, they don't think independents will support him. And if he does win and gets involved in the general election against Biden, he'll probably lose if Biden runs. That's the theory that's being sorted around right now. Let me tell you the problem with all of this. And I'm not speaking on Trump's behalf. Look, Trump's a multimillionaire, billionaire. He's going to defend himself. Whatever happens, happens. He becomes president. He don't become president, whatever. That's not the case. The point here is when you start to weaponize the Department of Justice, prosecutors in any state, city, land, law enforcement, when you start to use them and weaponize them against your political opponents or any opponents, we have a real serious problem in this country. That's my concern. My concern is not for Donald Trump. He's going to be okay no matter what. My concern is for you and for me. Because look, when they don't like somebody, okay, if Nancy Pelosi or Joe Biden or any from the Republican side say, hey, this guy is saying too much online, he's using social media to speak out against me, go after him. Look at the IRS, look at what he's done, find something and put him in jail. When we have that, and we're having it now, people, we're having it now, this country is in trouble. Our freedoms are in trouble. We can't allow that to happen. I'm very disturbed hearing that the FBI tried to influence the election by going to Twitter and telling them the things that they tell them. I'm not going to be redundant and go all over it again, but there's no question that that's happened. If you have a law enforcement agency trying to influence elections in this country, what do we have? Do we want to keep one political party in power forever, whether we agree with them, disagree with them, whether they're doing good for the country or bad for the country? Do we want that? This is at least a 2-party system, maybe more. Independence has come. We need to have that. We need to have disagreement. We need to have a choice. We can't have everything being forced upon us. We can't have other people's ideas being forced upon us without us having a say. So this is my problem with the indictment for Donald Trump. And because of that, I'm saying it's a persecution at this point. It is, because we know the strategy behind it. Look, we could also get into, there's a big investigation going on. Let me tell you something. If somebody took my laptop, right, and the information on that laptop was even 10% of what we already know, and we don't know it all, is on Hunter Biden's laptop, I'd already been in jail. And so would all of you. No doubt about it. We've already been prosecuted. It would have been done deal. This is going on 3 or 4 years now. If money was coming over from the Chinese Communist Party, to me, I'd be investigated from here till sundown. Believe me. So we know that favoritism is happening. We know that the Department of Justice is not going after Hunter Biden the way they should, or the way Joe Biden the way they should. We know that. Don't kid yourself into saying, no, nothing happened there. Something's happened there. Something serious has happened there. So what's my point? Do I want to see Joe Biden go to jail? No, I'm not saying that. He's 80 years old. Whatever he did, whatever he got away with for the last 50 years in government, hey, he did. Do I like him as a president? No, I don't. I think he's weak. I don't think he's doing good for America. It's my opinion. I'm allowed to have an opinion. You can disagree with me. You can tell me why. It's okay. Am I supporting Donald Trump right now? No, I'm not. I don't know who I'm going to support at this point, okay? I just hope it's somebody that can come in, be a unifier, because this country is so divided. We need somebody to unify this country again and put the country back on the right course. That's who I would vote for, the person that I think that can do that. And quite honestly, I don't care if he was Republican or Democrat. If I believed in this person enough, that's who I would vote for. I happen to be conservative in my values, so that's a standard that I try to hold to, but we need somebody that's going to unite this country again. That's important. So, getting back to the situation with Trump, look, I understand the thing with law enforcement on the street. You know, law enforcement, the way they normally work, what happens? A crime is committed, and what do? They go out and investigate it to find who the perpetrator was, right? Not with organized crime, because with organized crime, they do it differently. They look at the people, myself and everybody else, I don't have to mention all the names. Oh, these are criminals. We know they're criminals. We just have to figure out what crime they're committing. And so they investigate the person, not the crime, because they don't know what the crime is yet. How do they find out about the crime? Normally from informants who get themselves in trouble in some way, and then they become informants, okay? But, you know, obviously there's other ways too. But that's what's happening here. That's what happened with us on the street. I never got arrested at the scene of a crime. I never got arrested after a crime was committed. I've been arrested 18 times, okay? There was always, okay, he's a member of organized crime. We got to go after him. We got to figure out what he's doing. So they sit on us, they watch us, they investigate, they subpoena, they ask people around us what's going on. They try to find the crime. Okay, he walked into the Brill building where there's music. Well, let's go in there and find out if he extorted anybody. Oh, he's got ties to the union. Let's see if he extorted the union guys. And they try to look for the crime. Well, with Donald Trump, that's what they did. With Andrew Tate, I believe that's what they're doing too. Oh, no, Michael, some people came forward. Really? Well, where are they? Where are they? We know what happened in Trump's case, you know, with that woman, whatever her name is, okay? To me, at this point in time, and I know I'm going to catch hell from many of you on this, these are persecutions. These are hit jobs. They're persecutions. And until or unless I see anything at all differently, that's the position I take. You know, look, normally I'm from the underdog. I'm for the underdog, because I know how the government can work at times. I know how law enforcement can work. I watched my father do 40 years for a crime he didn't commit, framed 100%. I'll take it to my grave. Law enforcement people have admitted that to me. Media people have also admitted that to me. Take it to my grave. Okay, but you know, your dad was an organized crime guy. He did get away with a lot of other things. So in your mind, you kind of justify that, you know, maybe, kind of justify it, even though it's not right. I believe, you know, you could get away with 20 things. That doesn't mean that they frame you on the 21st. I'm sorry, that's not the way our system works, and I steadfastly believe that. So, at this point in time, I want to say that my position is this, and this is for all of you, everybody out there. Forget social media and what you're hearing. Don't try to persecute somebody because you don't like them. Don't think it's proper for the government to weaponize law enforcement against their political enemies or against people that they don't like. It's not good for this country. It's not good for the people of this country. It's not good for our freedom. They're imposing on us in a way that's very, very dangerous. When you see things like this, you're talking about anarchy. Trust me. So, you know, people, look, I'm not getting rid of the mob stories. You're going to hear some. I got one coming up for you, and one that's really troublesome to me, but I have one coming up. But I have to speak my piece. There's a lot of things going wrong in this country right now. There really are. We have to be made aware of them, because this is not going to be the same America in a few years from now if things continue the way they do. And look, I'm 71 years old. What more can they do to me? I've lived my life. I'm grateful. I'm thankful for it. But I have kids. I have grandkids. And I worry about the kids, the future. I worry about the indoctrination they're getting in schools. I'm worrying about colleges, the way they're indoctrinating people to think a certain way. These are the future people of America, you know, and I'm worried about the type of control that the government is trying to keep on us. So I'm going to speak my mind about it, and this is from my perception. And look, my perception is coming from the street. That's it. You know, I grew up with my dad. I saw a lot of things, and I spent 20 some odd years myself, spent time in prison. That's where my perception comes from. So I share it with you, and I think I'm spot on in a lot of things. I really do. Because I think before I talk, and I try to evaluate what's going on before I spout off. Anyway, that's it for today, my friends. You know, listen, you know, went to church for Easter Sunday, and you know, we just pray to God that things straighten out here, and I think people understand it. You know, we want their, you know, we want life just to get better for everyone, really, and that's what we're praying for. And you know, we pray for God to do His thing, and you know, hopefully it'll turn out. So, how do I always leave you? Same way, not going to change. Be safe. And I'm hearing some bad things, man. What happened in San Francisco? Guy leaves, walks out of his office, you know, a CEO of a company, I forget his name, and gets stabbed in the street. And San Francisco is becoming a dangerous city. LA, dangerous city. New York, Portland, Oregon, some of these places, dangerous. So please be safe. Look around you, know your surroundings, be healthy, got to take care of yourself. You know, you want to live as long as God allows you in this life, and if you take care of yourself, you can add years to your life. And as always, and I mean this sincerely, God bless every one of you. Be safe, be healthy, God bless. Yes, I'll see you next time. Take care.